The government shutdown could mark the beginning of the end for what's become booming business.
Yeah, so the law President Trump signed last night includes a ban on intoxicating hemp products, including THC drinks. We've been talking about this. Our WLWT News 5's Todd Dykes live tonight with reaction and what all of this means. Hi, Todd.
Hi, Sri and Mike. Yeah, if the federal ban does take effect 1 year from now, look for the sale of products like these, all of these THC drinks, and there are multiple aisles of them. Look for those sales to spike at stores like the Party Source here in Newport. When President Trump signed a bill that ended the government shutdown, he signed off on a provision that will ban intoxicating hemp products in a year's time.
I feel like it's a one-sided opinion.
UC student Zarel Gecker is not a fan of the ban that takes aim at unregulated sales of hemp-derived gummies and THC drinks, which are growing in popularity.
Like me personally, I don't really drink as much, and I have friends who don't enjoy being drunk or under the influence, and when they do THC, it's a way for them to have a different avenue of doing something.
Freshman Henry Rule is on the other side of the fence.
I'm not a fan of any of the gas station products that are sold. I just don't think they're good for people.
Rule's outlook aligns with this letter signed by 39 state attorneys general calling on Congress to crack down on the sale of psychoactive hemp products.
We've been dealing with this in Ohio for the last month.
When Governor Mike DeWine issued a temporary ban on intoxicating hemp, Bobby Slattery, whose brewery sells a lot of Sunflower THC seltzers, helped lawmakers in Columbus craft regulations. He hopes the same thing happens at the federal level.
The federal government stepped in and kind of done the same thing that we just came from at the beginning of Ohio, which is they stepped in, they put a law into place that they don't really understand who the consumer is.
Now, both Indiana's and Ohio's attorney generals signed on to that anti-intoxicating hemp letter that I referenced that was recently sent to members of Congress. Kentucky's AG did not add his name, and that may be because half of the 120 counties in the Bluegrass State now have at least one hemp farm. Reporting live tonight here in Newport, Todd Dykes, WLWT News 5.
All right.